on your Wednesday. And I'm not going to be very long. I just had a couple of things to get into with you. I just want to start with something that I've delayed for quite some time. And it's actually on the 2A. And this was a letter that I promised to reveal probably about 2 weeks ago, as it's about that time. This is July 5th is what it's dated for. This is related to the data breach that I spoke of out of California, regarding California. So I'm going to go ahead and read this correspondence to you. And it's a response from some 2A advocates and, of course, nonprofits or, yes, advocates. Okay, so here we are. This is dated for July 5th, 2022. All right, according to this, good morning, Marcy T. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for supporting the channel. We're available. I'm just going to be tagging in on a couple of lines right now, and then I'll be getting back with you later. All right, so this is regarding the data breach on the 2A owners. So to me, I've talked about this and how I think it puts a target on the backs of those who are law-abiding owners. So yeah, we're gonna start with that. Okay, just really quickly here. I'm gonna get in and out, but before I do that, because I want to try to do this within, I'm gonna do about 30 minutes here, and then I'm gonna get out of the way. All right. So you notice how, I just think that we're dealing with so much controlled opposition, and we're dealing with so many, on a spiritual level, we're dealing with so many pharaohs. We're dealing with female pharaohs. We deal with male pharaohs. We deal with medical pharaohs. So here's one tag, like, with all the things that are going on. Shout out to Derek C. Williams, who sent me a fantastic video that offers hope for those who have, taken a part in some of these sting bites, bee stings, and monkey pulse. They've taken part in that. So I just want to give you this really quickly. But I wanted to say on that end, we are dealing with, I think, even our science is controlled opposition, because it's only a scientific, as Fabiola from the CERN, that, she's supposed to be the founder of the Higgs boson, whatever, the quote God particle. She said during the health assembly that truth is something to aspire to. Okay. So here's the deal. In medicine, just generally, when they tell you things are like, you hear these disclaimers after, over the years, like probably within the last 25 years, you start seeing all these commercials talking about all these drugs, and side effects may include abdominal bleeding, constipation, loss of vision, nausea. But don't worry, you'll be able to, but they've got this person running through a field of daisies, and then, that kind of a bit. But then when they say, so-and-so side effects are rarely reported, that, my friends, I believe is controlled opposition. The science is only as much as they want to reveal to keep you coming back. Rarely reported. Like, there's some instances that are closer to me in which I've heard of, so-and-so, that's rarely reported. That's rare. Okay, well, how rare is it? Okay, well, why is it rarely reported? You're the doctor, your labs and your people take direction from you. So who are you taking direction from? Why is it rarely reported? Well, you claim you don't have any answers for a lot of these conditions, a lot of these disorders and diseases out here. It's because you are not telling the truth. It's only as rarely reported as who makes it. You, the physician or the scientist, make it. It's not rarely reported. Who would be rarely reporting it? You would be reporting it, because if you rarely report it, you make it seem like it's rare. It's more of an oddity because you made it an oddity. You are the creator of the rarities, the oddities, the rarely reported. To me, that is omission by commission. Okay? You're lying by your science and your truth is by omission. Your science is by omission. So who can trust the medical community? Who can? After everything we know, just listen to their language. Now we all can attest to, if for any of those of you that they're on the pulse here, maybe we should call the channel the pulse. For any of those that are on the pulse here, you know that from what we've seen, that things haven't been accurately reported. What is it that Dr. Simone Gold is she's been given a sentence in conjunction with the ABCDEFGHI6 situation. So I'm telling you, they're coming after you any way they can. Okay? Anybody that opposes them, they're coming after you. They will destroy their opposition. But they always create, it's always due to omission, commission, omission. Okay, so I just want to say that term rarely reported does not sit well with me. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of, it's controlled. It's controlled. Things that are rarely reported. Well, why would it be rarely reported if it's actually happening? Those are the kinds. I'm just hoping people can think, this is not the persuasion channel. In literature and your English class, you get all these there's different modes of writing, different types of things that can be written, types of essays that can be written. And a argumentative essay would not be, or a thesis in this case, from here at any point, has never been to persuade you. It was to inform you. So when people come on here and, they want to push back or whatever, fine. Okay, but what are you informing us of? You say you don't agree with this. Okay, but where's your information? And where's your example to support? How can you support your opposition? This is informative. Some of this right now is quite subjective. But I'm just thinking we have to examine the words that are being used. We have to realize that we're dealing with a narcissistic society. We have to realize that this world wants everybody, the one percenters and the elite of this world wants you to see the world the way that they see it in order to achieve what they're trying to achieve. They're never going to come right out. It's always going to be commission by omission, okay? It's always to be that's the way that they're doing it. I'm not even going to get into that situation with the 10-year-old girl and the abortion issue. It's like this country, what is going on here? You got to realize there's got to be something dark going on here. When we talk about the people beating the streets for abortion. In fact, I heard something about they want to create an abortion clinic, by the sea, I swear, like we have to confront these issues on a different level at this point. I'm sorry, it's not the ballot. The ballot box is not going to be ultimate winner. That matrix is not going to win it. It's going to be more or less the spiritual versus the metaphysical. This stuff is on a different level. And I don't claim to be a domain of competence on those areas specifically, but you got to realize that we're dealing with some things that we cannot see, but we feel the dark. We feel the power. We feel the darkness. We feel the heaviness. We feel the. You see, I consider myself a bit of an empath, but then that makes me a target for a narcissist. Okay, so let me get on to what I've already burned 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you so much, Marcy T, for coming. I'm going to get to your comments soon. Let's see what you have here. So let's see, Marcy T. Hope you're doing well out there. Yeah, it's like they've combined, they at this point, we're dealing with science and sorcery. Are they saying trust the science, trust the sorcery? Trust the sorcery. Trust is sorcery, right? Come on. When you think about, look up the word CERN. Look it up. What I can get, would that be the root word? What would that be the root word? Cernunos? Didn't they name this place Apollyon or something? Seriously, I mean, and it could be, oh, well, it could be a psyop. Well, it could, maybe not. But then there's also psyops, conspiracy theory. Isn't it the same kind of thing? It's the kind of diversion or confirmation bias that people come up with. They've been wordsmithing for so long. And a lot of people miss the words. They do. So I'm going to keep going. Let's get back to 2A here. I'm sorry. I kind of warmed you up to, I think I was trying to warm you up to, let's raise the discernment. Let's raise it. Let's raise it. If you have a pulse, your discernment should be raised. You should have marching ants of discernment. You should be on fire with discernment. Okay? All right, so let me get back to this thing here. All right, we're gonna go to this. So apparently, we have an organization about that. San Diego gun owners that have submitted a letter to the powers that be. Okay, according to this, according to this, Governor Newsom, Attorney General Bonta, Senator Atkins. As you are aware, on June 27th, for almost 24 hours, personally identifiable information, PII, on every concealed carry weapon permit holder in California was posted publicly on the state's website. The information released to the public by the Attorney General's office included name, date of birth, gender, race, driver's license number, address, and criminal history for each CCW holder in California. Despite the firearms dashboard portal no longer being available, that information is now in the public for unknown persons to see and use. Criminals who want to target someone who owns a firearm now have a list to use. Identity thieves now have a list of thousands of easy targets. Extremists who disagree with the gun owner's right to keep and bear arms now have a list of enemies to target and harass. Stalkers now have access to sensitive information, including home address of their targets. Given the language the Attorney General Bonta used to describe gun owners in his June 24th press conference, it is hard for gun owners in California to believe this was an accident. Attorney General Bonta declared that a person's, quote, right to vote, to visit your children, to go to school, to live without fear of gun violence, and to live without gun violence should not be trumped by a person's right to carry a firearm, end quote. That sounds a little bit like pun intended there, right? All right. As required by the state of California, CCW holders must go through a background check and extensive training to obtain a CCW. When elected officials blames violent crimes on sane, trained, law-abiding gun owners who have gone through the CCW vetting process. Should we be surprised when days later the same official's office exposes all their personal information to the public? Whether it is in the incompetence of the Attorney General's office, the direction of the Attorney General, or the tone of his rhetoric that has made the staff believe it is acceptable to release the personal information of CCW holders to the public. He has made gun owners the target of attack. Bonta's language and the actions of his office have resulted in a loss of trust in his ability to properly handle the necessary steps needed to make California CCW holders whole and safe again. The hundreds of thousands of gun owners across the state of California demand an investigation by a third-party law enforcement agency to discover the extent of the damage done and, if any, the motivation behind the leak. The severity of the actions by the Attorney General cannot be understated, and as a result, relying on an internal investigation is unacceptable and insufficient. We demand the state publishes all the security controls and protocols relevant to the information on gun owners and the CCW holders. We demand all personal information that is stored digitally be completely disconnected from any pathway to the internet. This is not a gun issue of a Second Amendment issue or a Second Amendment issue. It isn't Republican versus Democrat. It is a basic government, public safety, and common decency issue. Please value the safety, security, and privacy of the Californians who are victims because they did everything right, and take this as seriously as it deserves. Sincerely, Michael A. Schwartz. Okay, so that came out of the SD County Gun Owners PAC, so I assume that's a political actions committee there. So, there you go. So now they've put this target on people's back. You see what I'm saying? Is this communism 101 where you've got these people, these leaders, so-called leaders in power, they are destroying the faith in any institution that you have. They're trying to destroy it on the Supreme Court level, which I have my thoughts about that. But they've cast doubt on that with leaks prior to this Roe issue, and now they've got leaks on the CCW owners and probably regular gun owners in California. So you're putting targets on the backs of those people that did follow the law. Okay, but you're not going to harass or figure out how to track down people with guns on the black market or those who are selling those. What are you going to do? So this letter was written to Governor Newsom, Attorney General Bonta, and Senator Atkins. So check it out. I don't know if your name is on the list, on the database, if you found that. But I really don't know what to say about California. It's kind of a love-hate relationship that I have with that state. But I don't see good things coming out of that place. I really don't. The criminals, they're paid activists, they're paid protesters, these people that don't work, that have time to go out and thrash and crash and destroy property. That's going to be the next thing. And I'm not trying to be prophetic or any of that, not claiming that I am, because I am not. I'm not even saying that I'm anointed in that manner. I am saying that they went from the Roe issue to now they're setting the stage to start going out and harassing in some of these states to start harassing the gun owners, the CCW. It is hell to get a CCW in California. Okay, from what I understand, you have to prove why you need a CCW. I think one of the parameters is something, are you disabled, or are you a business owner? You have to be able to, you've got to jump. Their definition, you have to aspire to what makes you worthy of having a CCW in the state of California. That's what you have to do. Okay? It's not about your right to defend yourself. It's about how high they want to make you jump, or how high, I guess how much of a tax that they can put on you, how they can scathe and comb through your life, and now your whole life is on display. Now I'll put something in here right now. And I'll tell you, so according to this, on June 27th, the PII, that's the personally identifiable information on every CCW permit holder, was posted on the state's website. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've heard that they've taken it down. But do you guys actually think anybody's going to be held? The word accountability to me, that's like your father's nomenclature, because there is no such thing, okay? No. Not with the level of corruption that we're dealing with. No, it's not. Some of these things, these terms don't mean anything. To me, even the word Democrat, Republican doesn't even mean anything anymore. To me, that's your father's nomenclature too. It doesn't. What are you talking about? The right for a woman to use, use the road, the abortion as birth control. That is not, I don't think so. This stuff is so far out. So here you go. So here it is. The information released. I don't know if any of you out here in California, but you need to find out if you're a part of this. If you're on it. I guess I didn't throw myself in the bag. hey, who knows? It may end up being not even just that. It's released to everybody's information. Okay, so according to this information released to the public by the Attorney General's office, includes, we got all these breaches. Look at it. We got all these breaches in government. At this time in history, we got more breaches than ever. And nobody knows anything. Oh, it's a miracle. We got a breach. We got a breach of the CCW owners and 2A owners, 2 gun owners. So the information here included the name, date of birth, gender, race, driver's license number, address, and criminal history. So to me, basically, you damn near have an identity theft. That's a privacy breach. So what would that be, like a Fourth Amendment violation? What is it? So you got breach. What's going to be the next breach? Because we're a nation of breaches. Right, well, you're right. Shout out to AZ Infidel. That's why they're calling alienable rights. You can't give them away even if you want to. Well, my thing is that they can't give something, and they can't take away something that they didn't give you. The government can't do that. They can't. But that's what these people, they want you to think they can do that, and all of their little minions and mockingbirds. Okay, so there again, so you've got all that released. When you give out anybody that's on that list, somebody can go out and probably set up accounts and do all kinds of identity mischief with these people's information, all on account because they have a CCW. They're a CCW permit holder in California. How is that? I mean, this is part of the whole communism. They're gonna, what was it? They pretty much try to eliminate their opposition. They want to cast doubt in all the institutions. And if you should have doubts, but the doubts, it's the opposite of whatever they're saying. It's not the people that you should doubt. They want to cast doubts on the people. You see? It's the war against the people. The narcissist versus the empath. They want to cast doubt on people who are doing the right thing. But keep paying your taxes. See, this is turning into a rant, guys. Appreciate you guys so much for coming in. But this is despicable. Despicable. I mean, what is it? I don't know. I didn't serve in the military, but what, you're taking out, you take it out, you're trying to take out food sources, you're taking out utilities, commodities that are needed for transportation, e.g. gasoline. There's all kinds of craziness going on. In fact, I think I saw something, California's banning gas stations. They're banning gas stations in the name of climate change. I told you guys, I think we have economic antichrist. We have civil antichrist at this point. So let me just go back. But yeah, that was, I've been meaning to bring that report to you. But here's the other thing. The blackouts, we have this at a scarcity.news. Blackouts loom as increased energy demand puts strain on energy grids this summer. Okay, just look at the strain on your vehicle. I mean, if your vehicle has an air conditioner that's working properly, it's still putting a lot of stress on your engine. I mean, you've seen triple digit temperatures across the country. I'm not going to say unseasonably temperatures. I'm not even going to say it. Okay? Um, so let me give you a little piece of this because I'm probably going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes. Well, thank you guys so much. Marcy T is here. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you guys all. Thank you so much for coming on. Anonymity. Anonymity. Thank you so much for coming in. But yes, but I think with the fall, with the MTs coming around, to me, nothing's going to surprise me. Nothing that they may do will surprise me. Because they say, oh well, we got the gas prices down. Okay, well, why is it that there were 1 million barrels of oil was sent to Le Chinois? Why? How? I mean, they're saving the day, right? Saving the day, right? I'm telling you, it's not going to stop. But here it is. The consumer demand for electricity increases in the summer as more people rely on the use of air conditioning units to combat the heat. This is expected to put a strain on the power grid, with experts warning that the lights could soon go out. How convenient, How convenient. Warnings of rolling blackouts have been issued since the beginning of the year as utility companies brace for the impact of a surge in demand. Now, what is it, that word experts? All right, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little bit absolutist. There are no experts, okay? Let me steal a page out of Fabiola from CERN, from her book. Let's say that expertise is something to aspire to. It's evolving according to them. How can there be any experts if there's aspiration to truth, right? If there... All right. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm sorry about that. Warnings of rolling blackouts have been issued since the beginning of the year as utility companies brace for the impact of a surge in demand. This could leave millions without electricity in the middle of summer. A report from Refinitiv Data stated that federal agencies responsible for power reliability, such as the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, have warned that grids in the western half of the U.S. could face reliability issues this summer. Okay, so there's another little link here that says there's 12 things. There's a little 12 things you need to survive a power grid collapse. Okay, the Midwest is said to be particularly vulnerable, even though it has been immune to rolling blackouts for decades. Utility companies in Illinois have warned of controlled outages that could occur. Controlled outages. Okay, with one already sending letters to customers regarding potential power cuts. Southeastern Illinois Electrical Cooperative, SEIEC, stated in a letter that, quote, a recent generation capacity auction has revealed that the Midwest could fall short of needed generation capacity to serve the summer peak load under certain conditions, end quote. It warned that the SEIEC, end quote, would be directed to disconnect a portion of the load in order to prevent an electric grid failure, end quote, if demand outpaces supply. Meanwhile, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, said it is already asking customers to cut back on their energy use and turn up the temperatures on the air conditioning units. Okay, that sounds a little bit antithetical, right? Its calls followed the shutdown of 6 power plants in the Lone Star State in May during what was allegedly a heat wave. ERCOT had previously been in the news back in early 2021 due to its mismanagement of the infamous Texas blackouts. Okay, so people of California, you guys, we know we're familiar. We are familiar with blackouts. Okay, we are. All right, so then this thing kind of wraps you back into the whole supply chain thing. So the supply chain snags pivot to green energy, leave the U.S. vulnerable to blackouts. Okay, so I'm going to keep going on and I'll finish this one up. As energy equipment breaks down over the summer, power companies say they may not have the spare parts or resources to fix the problems fast enough to keep the power on due to supply chain issues. Ralph Izzo, the head of New Jersey-based Public Service Enterprise Group, said energy utilities have to be frugal with their replacement parts to avoid running out in case of weather emergency or high heat. Quote, you don't want to deplete your inventory because you don't know when that storm is coming, but you know it's coming, end quote. I have to stop here. There is a YouTuber, and I find his videos are so loaded with the symbolism and loaded with explanation. And it's called Shaking My Head Productions. I don't know this person personally, but the channel's been taken down at least 2 or 3 times in the last week. But that guy is absolutely on fire. Okay, the storm is coming is something that, there was a quote, somebody else mentioned a storm was coming. Okay, do I need to go there? All right, so here, let me repeat that one more time. Quote, you don't want to deplete your inventory because you don't know when that storm is coming, but you know it's coming, that storm. Well, I think we're already in the storm. It's just when is it going to hit your area? Like, what category are we in at this point, I guess is what we should say. We're dealing with a nationwide storm. We're dealing with a mankind storm. We're dealing with a narcissist storm. We're dealing with an empath storm. We're dealing with all kinds of storms. We're dealing with viral storms that they want to wash the earth away. They want to cleanse the earth with viral BS. So, shout out to you. Hi, Fancy Truth. He who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. You got that right. Preach. So here we go. So, and he goes on to say, quote, if we have successive days of 100-degree heat, those pole top transformers, start popping like Rice Krispies, and we would not have the supply stack to replace them, end quote. Going on, the American Electric Power CEO Nick Atkins, meanwhile, confirmed that other operators, such as his company, have been changing their maintenance habits. He said AEP have been doing a lot more fixing, such as splicing and putting cables together instead of simply laying new ones, so that they can save the new cable for inventory when they are needed. Aside from these, the forced transitions to, quote, green, in quote, energy is also contributing to the inability of the grids to handle the load whenever there's a bit of heat or rain. Many states have moved to take plants powered by coal and natural gas offline in favor of renewable energy sources, which do not have the capacity to keep up with the summer heat. Moreover, renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power also have issues beyond human control. Some areas do not have enough wind or sunshine to continuously produce power. While there are technologies to help store excess energy for later use, they are currently expensive and not yet fully developed. All right, this is, I would imagine that there's this, quote, legislation and all these bills that they've passed. It's funny how they managed to come up with these sustainable, these energy, the ESGs, the energy or environmental sustainability goals, but they never did anything to improve the actual power grid. From what I understand, that our actual power grid is over 100 years old. Congress, the Church of Congress, what are they doing? They know about it. They have known about it. So I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. But they've known about it. And that's why I'm just thinking this is all a little too convenient. One thing after another. Environmental sustainability goals. That's basically part, to me, UN agenda, World Economic Forum. These people are all in lockstep. And I've been talking about UN and the sustainability, developmental sustainability goals since 2018. Since AOC was talking about the Green New Deal. So how much do you think this is not a part, this is all got to be washed away. You're going to wash away your power, wash away your gas, wash away your food in order to usher in something else, right? And I'm sorry, but I think they're using bio crap to wash away things too. I mean, if you look back, what history, isn't there always something that comes before every new world? There was some plague or some level of destruction, right? And some people are self-destructing. The narcissists are self-destructing. And I'm just saying, that is the way that they turn the tide. It's either some type of, somewhere, but I think what we've got here, we've got a blend. We've got a blend of eugenics and we've got the blend of eugenics and viral BS that they're going to wash away this world in order to set up the new one. And I'm sorry, but the Church of Congress is not it, my friends. It's not. It's just not. So, I don't know. Like I said, you better get yourself together. That would be, get yourselves together. Fortify yourselves, whether it be spiritually. I don't know what you do. But this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. And there's nothing being done about it. Nothing. I'm starting to run into more people that had the DVOC and saying that they ended up with having multiple things go wrong in their bodies. Everything from somebody having hip surgeries, multiple surgeries after they had the DVOC. The DVOC, to me, ravaged certain people's bodies. I think perfectly healthy people. I'm not even talking about the Jim Jones juice. I'm not even talking about that. And YouTube, if you want to ding me, go ahead and do it. Do it. Do it. If it gives you a little jolt in your little narcissistic power supply, go ahead and do it. But I'm going to say what I want to say. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. So, I don't know, guys. That's pretty much all I have. Let's see what's in the comments. I'm probably going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So, apparently, I hear you, Marcy T. I need to catch up. Let's see. I'm gonna go back a little bit. AZ Infidels here says, natural law provides that every person has a basic understanding of right and wrong. If you choose to ignore it, then that's on you. I concur. Marcy T says, basically nothing you or me learned was truth. Yeah, that's what I believe. It's a wreck. It's a complete wreck. It's Angels Army. How are you? It's been a lifetime. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. But yeah, nothing's the same, right? Nothing's the same. But I'm going to check in with you guys later. I'm going to check in with you guys later. Yeah, from Upside Down. I'm been on the road a little bit, but I am also kind of reassessing how I want to do the channel. Do I kind of want to take out? I might kind of bring it back down to bare bones because I think that's all that matters. The bells and the whistles to me, I'm not even sure if that matters anymore. And of course, I want to appeal to all the modalities of my viewers or my subscribers. I want you to have the visual, the kinetic, the auditory. I want you to have all those things. But I might go down to bare bones. You might only see this. You might only see this. So, but I'm going to check back in with you guys later. And I'm going to thank you so much for coming. I'm going to thank you guys for hanging on. Marcy T, thank you so much for coming. As always, love to you. AZ Infidel. I am in the southeast. I'm in the southeast, and then, things are going on for sure. Lots of things are going on. Yeah, that story, Marcy T, about the 10-year-old. Where's the police report? Where is all the information on that? They kind of come out with these. They throw that little buzz out there and they try to run with it. And why aren't they? I mean, seriously, why isn't that person in jail? Who's suspected of doing this? Somebody knows who did that, right? If this is true, allegedly, I like to say allegedly these days. Let's see. And okay, well, I'm gonna be back maybe later. We'll see. Yeah, because I'm probably gonna be redoing my studio, so to speak. I'm gonna do a permanent redoing my studio. So, but I'm not. I'm still around. So not to worry. Not that you guys are worried. But I appreciate you guys for hanging on and hang in there. You got to hold on to something, because what you see, my friends, is going away. They want you to believe what you're told instead of what you see. They want you to believe that the economy is so great. We have a great economy. Do you believe that? Believe what they tell you over those gas prices. Believe what they told you over what you saw in the grocery store. Not me. Not me. All right, guys. Well, I will check in with you later. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Take care.